Hello, today we're going to be making turkey and hominy stew with a side of corn and zucchini salad. Makenna looks very excited to eat this salad. Props to Makenna.
We are starting off with an Aztec meal of corn and zucchini salad. The Aztecs were a Mesoamerican culture that thrived in central Mexico in the post-classic period from 1300 to 1500 CE. The Aztecs were polytheistic, and in other words, they believed in many gods and goddesses. While Heidi's rearranging these limes, I'm going to explain the 9 netherworlds that the Aztecs divided into. The Aztecs divided the world into 13 heavens and 9 earthly layers or netherworlds. Each level was associated with specific sets of deities and celestial objects. The Aztecs spoke the language of Nahuatl, a language said to be spoken since at least the 7th century CE. It was known as a language of trade and prestige and was used on literature extensively. There are 2 main social classes in Aztec culture. First, the nobility, or pili. Then the common, or people, mahecuali. The 2 dishes we will be making today were eaten by the lower class, or mekuali.
For this dish, you will need 1.5 pounds of turkey legs or breast, water, 1/2 a head of garlic peeled, 1/2 of a large white onion that is quartered, a handful of dried oregano, 2.5 dried ancho chilies that are stemmed and seeded, 2 dried pasilla or guajillo chilies that are stemmed and seeded too, 2 cups of hominy, rinsed and drained, salt, and for the accompaniments, you need 2 limes cut into wedges.
We brought the turkey to a boil and left it to cook for 20 minutes, or until tender.
We added 2 tablespoons of salt, onion, garlic, and oregano. Partially covered and simmered over medium-low heat until the meat is tender. Remove the meat from the broth, let cool, shred, and set aside.
I really should have brought my fidget cube.
Here you can see Makenna dicing up some nice zucchinis. Good job, Makenna. Though, she is gesturing with the knife. Make sure you don't gesture with the knife. It's very dangerous. In the background, you can see me stirring up the turkey. Make sure when you boil the turkey, you skim the froth, meaning that if there are any chunks of turkey floating on the top, skim it and remove it.
Oh my god, a train's coming.
I'm following.
No, you're not!
Yes! I'm sorry, Willoughby.
Oh my gosh, stop.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. You literally eaten half of the radishes! Heidi!
You should just make a
While the meat is cooking, stem and seed the chilies and rehydrate them in enough water, hot water to cover, keeping them submerged for about 20 minutes. Then puree the chilies with 1.5 cups water. Add the pureed chilies, shredded meat, and hominy to the broth and simmer for about 5 minutes. Make sure you don't make the same mistake as Makenna did when she unscrewed the pureed chilies and spilled it all over the counter. And she actually cleaned it up by herself, so it was okay.
Peppers are bad for dogs.
So don't let them eat them. Taste, adjust seasoning, and serve hot with radishes, oregano, and lime wedges. At this point, if it tastes bad, there's not much you can do except for add salt and pepper, I guess.
Don't add too much salt. One time I took the time to make 8 servings of stew, and I added way too much salt, and it wasn't even edible. Not even for my dad, and he eats everything.
At many points of this video, you're going to see Heidi eating a ton of radishes. And then she got very, very, very sick after that. So don't eat radishes.
What? No, I didn't.
You're mentally sick. Please, if you see Heidi with a radish, take it away from her. She's trying to quit cold turkey, but it's obviously not working.
Turkey's bad cold.
This dish was eaten by the Aztecs from approximately 1325 to 1521. Instead of turkey, it was originally made from human meat, from humans that had been sacrificed until the Spaniards made cannibalism illegal.
The life force of the Americas, which is maize, has been domesticated in Mexico for over 10,000 years. The Aztecs grew over 760 species of squash. The Spaniards made conserves with it, a Middle Eastern tradition of cooking fruits in sugar syrup.
For the zucchini and corn salad, you will need 1 cup of zucchini, finely diced, 2½ ears of corn, shucked, 1/8 cups of red onion, 1½ tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1½ tablespoons of olive oil, and 1/4 cup of cilantro, chopped. You'll also need salt and pepper. In a large pot of boiling salted water, cook the corn for 3 minutes. Drain and immerse in ice water to stop the cooking.
Sauté the zucchini in butter over medium-high heat until tender, about 4 minutes, then set aside the cooked zucchini.
Toss the kernels and zucchini in a large bowl with the red onions, vinegar, olive oil, salt and pepper. Just before serving, toss in the cilantro. Taste, adjust seasoning and serve cold or at room temperature.
The rest of the video is just going to be a montage of Heidi eating radishes and messing around. We're also just going to be making faces at each other and trying to cook this meal correctly. Thank you for watching. So much garlic smell. It smells great. I don't know what.
Okay, we need to put the chilies, the meat, and the hominy in the broth and simmer for 5 minutes. This is a tea. Hominy!
Loading it in the dishwasher is boring. You can just stop things.
Okay,
Stop making yourself, sir.
don't make a
Sorry,
mess.
do it.
Okay, you can do it then. Here.
Like, turn around. Don't look at me.
I need some radish to clear my palate. That's enough radishes for you. Sam, why'd you put it on the bottom?
So sour.
Honey is good.
What? She's just eating your whole.
Just eat it.
Your face is as red as your hair.
My hair's brown.
No, it's
Heidi,
not!
what?
Heidi. We all know your hair is red.
For the
Good.
views. Okay.
It has a good aftertaste.
One.
I literally like it.
No, not yet.
I like one.
What?
I do like it.
It smells good.
Have you seen cat ASMR videos where the cat's drinking water? Just go.
Heidi, you.
There.
Here, how do you want mine too?